What if Commander Fox discovered Order 66? That's our story for today, and a reminder, we have a giveaway going on, so go to the previous video to enter into the lightsaber giveaway for 70,000 subscribers. Thanks everybody, and let's get right into it. Our story begins on Coruscant, inside of the Grand Republic Medical Facility. This facility was reserved for important military personnel, and the latest use of this facility was Clone Trooper 5's being transported here after removing his inhibitor chip on Kamino. In the last few days, Fives uncovered some sort of plot, or at least Fives said he did. The former ARC Trooper was spiraling down a terrible path before he died, claiming that the Kaminoans were covering something up, that there was some sort of plot that would make the clones more dangerous with the chips, not less dangerous like the Kaminoans said. In the end, Commander Fox did his duty after being personally assigned to kill Fives by Chancellor Palpatine. Fives nearly assassinated the Chancellor earlier that day, and that incident was blamed on a psychotic break by Palpatine himself. He told Fox that Fives was dangerous to everyone around him, so Fox did what he had to do. But when it was all over, and Fox was alone in the barracks, he decided to read up on the mission report from his fellow Coruscant Guard troopers. Something just wasn't sitting right with him, so Fox moved down towards the battle planning area, and he sat down at a computer to look into the report. One of the men, a clone named Firespray, was in the room when Fives attacked Palpatine. His report said that the Chancellor ordered him and the other guards to step away so he could speak to Fives alone, and within seconds, Fives snapped. Fox still wasn't satisfied. Why didn't anyone have an answer as to what was said by Palpatine to make Fives snap? Fox trusted Palpatine with everything he had. He would never turn on the Chancellor, but Fives was his brother, and he was forced to kill him. He needed closure or answers as to what happened. So, Fox went against his better judgment, and he took a speeder across Coruscant, flying back to the Grand Republic Medical Facility. The night was extremely late, and Fives entered the facility on the bottom floor, telling the clones on guard here that he was doing a routine security check, and these clones knew better than to question their commander, so they let Fox into the security room. Fox would get to the security cameras, and he moved from room to room, rewinding just over a day, until he saw the recordings of Palpatine, Fives, Master Shaak Ti, Nala Se, and the guards. Fives hit play on the security recordings, and although the audio wasn't great, Fox could hear everything. Fives was telling Shaak Ti and Palpatine that the inhibitor chips are for a deep, separatist plot, years in the making, designed to turn the clones against the Republic, and Fox just saw how insane Fives was acting, and he realized this may be a waste of time. Fives really was spiraling by this point. But then, right before Fox decided he had closure, Palpatine requested to speak with Fives, alone. So Fox sped up the recordings a bit, until Palpatine had Fives to himself, and he leaned in very close to him. Fox was now messing with the audio levels, turning them up to full volume, focusing in on the Chancellor. The audio in this moment was scratchy, but it was good enough to send an icy chill down Fox's spine. He heard Palpatine tell Fives that he is right about everything, but it's not exclusively a separatist plot, and in a voice much darker, scarier, and colder than the typical Palpatine voice, the Chancellor told Fives that this entire plot was designed by him. He told Fives that he is going to use the clones to eliminate the Jedi Order once and for all, and Fives snapped in that moment, trying to shoot and kill the Chancellor, before Shaak Ti ran in and pushed Fives away. Now Fox had the truth. Fives was right, and he killed Fives for trying to expose the truth. Part of Fox still wondered if he was somehow wrong about Palpatine. Fox trusted the man so much, but apparently he plans to turn all of the clones against the Republic using these chips. Fox could not just live with that. He was loyal to the Republic, and clearly Palpatine was working against the Republic. So Fox pulled a data recorder from his belt, and he plugged it into the console. He would download these recordings, and he would show it to whoever could use it to save the Republic. Whether it was the Jedi, the Senate, it didn't matter right now. Fox just had to do this, for his brothers. But as the data download was around halfway through, Fox heard some boots marching outside, and as the door swung open to reveal two of Palpatine's personal Red Guards dressed head to toe in their red robes and armor, Fox dove behind a console in the back of the room to hide. The guards got to the security console that Fox was just at, and one of them said they'd been ordered to delete the security recordings and leave. The other asked if they should see what is on the recordings before they delete them, and the other guard said they've been directly ordered by Palpatine to delete them, and he doesn't intend on breaking the trust of the Chancellor. The other guard nodded along, and they were both silent, until suddenly one of them ignited their electrostaff before exclaiming that someone was here. Fox forgot to remove his data recorder from the console, and it just finished downloading the recordings. Of course, it began beeping after finishing, alerting the guards that someone was in here. Now the two red guards began pacing the room, both of them with their staffs ignited, with electricity spewing from both ends. They checked behind every corner and every console, closing in on Fox, and once they were close enough, Fox made his move. He spun from behind his console, firing a pistol at both guards. One dodged the blast, while the other was hit in the shoulder, and Fox ran at the one that dodged, throwing a hard punch right into the helmet. Fox yelled out in pain from the punch, as it may have broken his hand. This armor was no joke. The guard swung his staff at Fox, and the clone ducked before firing his pistol right into the gut of the guard. He dropped his staff, falling hard to the floor, and Fox turned to take down the other one, but it was too late. The guard recovered from his shoulder injury, and he plunged his staff into Fox. His armor stopped the staff from killing him, but the electricity from it got to Fox quickly, and he was knocked unconscious. Fox fell to the ground, trying to cling to the consciousness, but everything went dark, and Fox feared this may be his end. A few hours later, inside of the same medical facility, Chancellor Palpatine waited patiently as Commander Fox was strapped to a table. The guards informed Palpatine about finding Fox downloading the security recordings, and Palpatine decided not to have him killed, at least not yet, and he was going to keep the recordings in his office to study Fives before he snapped, study if anything was truly going on with him without the inhibitor chip, because the chips were key to everything. Palpatine was deciding not to have Fox killed, at least not yet, as if Fox was suddenly killed after Fives and Tup, it could cause even more unnecessary alarm and thoughts that something was being covered up. So instead, Palpatine was testing out an old dark side trick. He used the Force to wipe Fox's memory since the night he killed Fives, and now he waited to see if it works. And eventually, Fox slowly began to wake up, looking around with confusion as to where he was and what was going on, until he turned and saw the Chancellor. Fox's eyes went wide, and he attempted to salute until Palpatine told him to be at ease. Fox asked what was going on, and Palpatine began spinning his web of lies, telling Fox that the night after Fives was eliminated, Fox went to sleep and he never woke up until now. Apparently the same virus that Fives and Tup caught also got to Fox. It was suspected that he caught it from Fives, but luckily, this one was not lethal. Fox asked about the rest of his men, and Palpatine said that everyone else was fine, and he was kept here just to ensure that all of his vital signs were normal. Fox really didn't remember anything, and so Palpatine gave him a warm smile, thanking Fox for his unending loyalty before freeing him and having Fox go back to his Coruscant Guard unit. Everything seemed fine, and Palpatine figured he was in the clear, as the Sith method of memory wipe seemed to have worked perfectly fine. Weeks would go by as the war continued, and Fox remained in service as the commander of the Coruscant Guard. His men always respected him for his strong loyalty, his honor, leadership in battle, dealing with prisoners. He dedicated his life to protecting the heart of the Republic here on Coruscant, as he was extremely loyal to the Senate and the Chancellor even over the Jedi. He became more and more highly decorated as a soldier, and his men respected him as a commander. And after a few months, as the war was winding down, the Separatists were being pushed into the Outer Rim, something happened that would turn the tide of the entire war. Coruscant was attacked by the Separatists, and Fox would lead his Coruscant Guard into defense. The Coruscant Guard would spread around Coruscant as droid forces landed and droid fighter ships flew around, spraying fire all around to stop the clones and Jedi from mounting a defense. And during all of this, Fox would lead a squad of his men up to the Chancellor's office, where Jedi Masters Shaak Ti and Stas Ali would be meeting them to protect Palpatine. Once inside of the office, Fox and his men were with Palpatine and the Jedi when metallic footsteps could be heard from every direction. Everyone readied their weapons until the window was blown wide open, and Grievous flew inside with a squad of his Magna Guards. Shaak Ti and Stas Ali would engage General Grievous, while Palpatine hid and the Coruscant Guard began firing at the Magna Guards. Clone Trooper Thyre shot one of the guards in the chest, before another kicked him hard into the wall. Fox shot from around a table, and he took out another Magna Guard, before one of them swung its Electrostaff right over Fox's head. The Electrostaff reminded Fox of something, but he couldn't place the memory. It was very strange, but a vague image of a red droid or guard of some sort holding an Electrostaff flashed in his brain. Fox didn't have time for this right now, and he fired at this Magna Guard to take its head off. Fox turned, thinking he defeated the Magna Guard, but it fought on without a head, plunging the staff into Fox's back, and Fox fell to the ground very hard. The electricity coursed through his body, and as Fox was going unconscious, he once more was reminded of this lost memory where the Red Guard did this to him with a staff. Fox didn't know if he was dreaming or making this up, but as his vision went black, all he saw was the mask of the Red Guard electrocuting him, a memory thought to be long gone, a memory Fox couldn't place, and everything went black as he was knocked out as Grievous captured Chancellor Palpatine, and the two Jedi were dealt with. When Fox eventually did wake up, Shaak Ti was at his side. She had a lightsaber gash in her side and a wound on the top of her head from Grievous. The droid general defeated her, but she had survived. Stas Allie was gone from the room as she was chasing Grievous, who ultimately did escape with Palpatine. And as Fox woke up, he told Shaak Ti that something was wrong. It was as if he was having memories or flashbacks of a time that never happened, a reality that was not his. Fox told Ti that he had a memory when he was electrocuted of another time that happened, but in the memory it was Palpatine's guards. Fox was shaking his head. He felt like he was going insane, but he also felt like he knew something, but he just couldn't remember it. Shaak Ti said perhaps she can help. If there is a hidden memory in his mind, she can try unlocking it with the Force. Fox was hesitant, but it was like his mind was trying to tell him something, so he let Shaak Ti do this, as she closed her eyes and put a calm hand on Fox's head. The distant sounds of battle outside of this ruined office slowly began to fade away, until the only thing Fox saw was black nothingness. He stood alone in a never-ending hallway of sorts, and it was all dark. In his mind, Fox heard the echoing voice of Shaak Ti as she asked him to think of the Red Guard electrocuting him. Fox thought about the long-lost memory, trying to remember it or place it, and with Shaak Ti using the Force on him to help him find it, Fox would remember. But he didn't remember just the Red Guard. He remembered everything from before he was electrocuted, and everything flooded back to Fox's memory. Palpatine failed at wiping it completely. He remembered his doubts about killing Fives. He remembered the security cameras. He remembered Palpatine confessing everything. He was in control of everything. And Fox remembered his data recorder that he put everything on. Fox broke off the memory, and he was breathing heavily as he told Shaak Ti that he remembers it all. But Fox knew no one would believe him. He needed evidence. So Fox scrambled to his feet, running to Palpatine's desk. Most of these drawers were locked securely, so Fox asked Shaak Ti for her lightsaber. She curiously walked up to Fox and asked what was going on, but Fox said he would never be able to explain it. He needed to show her. Shaak Ti trusted Fox right now, and so she gave him her blade, and Fox ignited it into the drawer locks. All of these secure drawers swung open, and Fox frantically searched through them, hoping desperately that his hunch would be correct. And as Fox dug through the bottom drawer, he saw it, a data recorder with the Coruscant Guard insignia on it. Palpatine kept a security recording from the medical facility to study Fives and see if there were any effects that he didn't initially notice to Fives removing his inhibitor chip. Palpatine never discarded the data recorder, and now Fox plugged it into the desk projector. In seconds, the security recordings were playing for Shaak Ti, and she, just like Fox, now saw the truth to all of it. The entire situation with Fives was never overblown. Fives was telling the truth, and Palpatine exposed himself in these recordings. Fox would ask the most obvious question at this point. If Palpatine was working with the Separatists with this grand plot, why would Palpatine get himself captured? Shaak Ti thought about it. She thought about everything that happened before the attack. She recalled that Mace Windu was leading an investigation into tunnels underneath Coruscant that traced from a layer deep in the industrial sector all the way to 500 Republica, the building where the most important people on Coruscant, including Chancellor Palpatine, resided. And it all clicked for Shaak Ti. This entire attack on Coruscant was a distraction to pull away the resources searching for the Sith. Because Palpatine is the Sith, he ordered this attack. Shaak Ti pulled out a comlink, and she attempted to make contact with the ship carrying Anakin and Obi-Wan. She knew the two of them were assigned to rescue the Chancellor. And in space, on the Republic Venator carrying those two Jedi, Anakin and Obi-Wan were about to fly and leave the hangar, flying into the battle to rescue Palpatine, when Admiral Yularen informed them of an urgent message. Both Skywalker and Kenobi took the message in their own starfighters, as holograms of Shaak Ti and Commander Fox appeared in front of them. Shaak Ti spoke to the Jedi, telling them to be extremely careful, as they've just learned a terrible truth. Palpatine is the Sith Lord. and the two of them are very likely about to fly into some sort of trap. Anakin naturally thought there was no way this could be true, so Commander Fox transmitted the security recording to the Jedi, and they saw the truth for themselves, as Palpatine told Fives everything in this recording. Anakin felt numb, but he and Obi-Wan both knew this was a reality they now had to deal with. The Invisible Hand, Grievous's flagship, was in the middle of the battle, as if it were set up perfectly for the two Jedi to get to, and Anakin had an idea. They just have to destroy the ship, and both Grievous and the Sith would go with it. At this point, all of Anakin's loyalties to Palpatine were basically fading away. He didn't have any intent to join the dark side. He hadn't had any nightmares, hadn't killed Dooku in cold blood, hadn't been denied mastery by the Jedi. This was just the beginning of Palpatine's plan to turn Anakin. The only thing Anakin knew now was that Palpatine was a traitor to a level absolutely punishable by death. He and Kenobi began flying through space, and Anakin had the Republic ships stop firing at the Invisible Hand for now, give the ship a false sense of security. The Republic Venators began firing at other Separatist ships as the Jedi flew through space, and soon enough, the two of them came upon the Invisible Hand. Obi-Wan asked Anakin what his grand plan is from here, and Anakin ordered all of the nearby Republic Venators to now focus everything they have on the Invisible Hand. He told them not to worry about the turrets, he will take care of them. And so all of the nearby Republic Venators turned and began firing at the Invisible Hand. Inside of the ship, Grievous, Dooku, and Sidious all felt the seismic shift in the battle, as Grievous contacted Dooku about it. Dooku ordered Grievous to fire back. This ship should be strong enough to handle the nearby Republic Venators. And Grievous turned to the droids, ordering them to engage the Venators, not to run away. The battle droids said that was going to be an issue, as their turrets were going offline, one by one. Grievous growled in confusion, before looking out of the bridge window to see a single Jedi starfighter flying from turret to turret, taking them out with ease. This Jedi was far quicker than any turret. Grievous ordered every available Vulture droid to focus on this Jedi fighter, but he was quickly informed that the Vulture droids are unavailable. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Saesee Tiin were circling around the Invisible Hand in their ships, firing at any Vulture droids, distracting them from taking on Anakin, allowing Anakin to take out the turrets. Grievous reported this to the Sith, and the Sith angrily told Grievous to get out of here. Something has shifted. The Republic is doing something unexpected. They were trying to destroy the ship even though Palpatine was inside of it. The Invisible Hand began using evasive maneuvers to get out of this cluster of ships in the giant battle, but it was too late. With the turrets destroyed and every single Venator focusing firepower on the Invisible Hand, the ship quickly began to explode. The bridge went first, with Grievous and his droids being engulfed by the explosion, and then came the spire. The explosion reached the top level, and both Dooku and Sidious used the Force trying to hold the fire back, but it was no use. The entire ship exploded, and the Sith with it. The grand explosion of the Separatist flagship could be seen from the surface of the planet. The entire Republic would wait anxiously as the battle would go on for a while longer, but ultimately the Separatist forces were destroyed or forced to retreat as the Republic secured the planet. Shaak Ti, Commander Fox, Anakin, and Obi-Wan would quickly speak to the Council, informing them of everything, and Yoda would decide to cover this up from the Senate. Instead, the Jedi would report to the Senate that Dooku was aboard the Invisible Hand, and he personally executed the Chancellor. So the Jedi destroyed the ship, carrying both Grievous and Dooku. With Palpatine gone, the Republic was in shock around the galaxy, but the Jedi would step in to take control of the Senate, led by Mace Windu, and he began putting in efforts to end this war, eventually locating the Separatist Council on Utapau, and without the protection of the Sith, they were quickly arrested so the war could officially end. The Separatist Alliance was disbanded, and the Republic took them all back in once the droids were shut down. Windu and the Jedi would organize new elections for the Chancellor, along with many senators that stepped down after the war with their pockets lined with credits. The rebuilding process would be grueling, but the Jedi were determined to lead the restoration of the Republic, and it would be without Anakin and Padme. As soon as Anakin learned Padme was pregnant, they both stepped away from galactic politics and the Jedi Order for now, moving to Naboo where they would raise the children. Obi-Wan, Shaak Ti, and Mace Windu would be the three faces of the rebuilding Republic, as they personally interviewed candidates for Chancellor, ultimately choosing Bail Organa to lead the Republic into a new, peaceful era, hoping to eradicate corruption that had been built up for centuries by the Sith. The Jedi would choose to continue letting the clones serve, though the process on Kamino was shut down, so no more were created. And in the end, Commander Fox became the head of security for the Jedi Temple, and he chose to accept this role after the role he played in saving the Republic. And folks, that is where our story ends today. Had to end it with a little Commander Fox line, but hope you guys enjoyed overall. I think Commander Fox is a bit not underappreciated, but like not very understood very well. He's just a loyal clone to the Republic doing his duty. The situation with Ahsoka was messy, but he had to do what he had to do. Situation with the Fives, yeah, maybe he should have shot a stun blast, but he was under direct order from Palpatine to basically kill Five. So I think Fox overall, if he found out his brothers were being manipulated, being turned against the Jedi against their will with inhibitor chips, I think he would turn against Palpatine. You know, I don't think he's loyal to a fault. I think he's loyal to the Republic, not to the Chancellor exclusively. Like, he found out the Chancellor was evil. I think he's turning. So hope that makes sense. Hope you guys enjoyed the Fox story. I've never done one about him, so it was cool to do. Appreciate you guys listening. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next video.